So welcome back. Today we're going to dive headfirst, terrible pun intended, into a topic that's so important yet so overlooked. We're exploring the brain and the mind and how it all works. Why? Because knowing your brain and how your mind works is like getting the cheat codes for the game of life. So let's dive in. Now, imagine for a moment that your brain is like a bustling city. It's a city that never sleeps, with millions of neurons firing up like tiny lights in the skyscrapers. They don't just twinkle randomly though. These neuron skyscrapers are communicating, they're sharing information, they're figuring things out and making decisions. It's like an ever-humming, always glowing Times Square. Every emotion, thought, memory, random song that's stuck in your head, all of it is nothing but electrical signals buzzing around. Now, you may be wondering, why should I care about this? Well, hear me out. Learning about how your brain works is not just for impressing people at cocktail parties or acing your high school human bio quiz. Understanding the brain and how the mind works is like getting a backstage pass to your own behaviour and your own reactions. It allows you to think differently when you're sitting in peak hour traffic and your blood is starting to boil. Simply put, your brain causes all of your suffering. Because as we've already identified, it's not reality that causes our suffering. It's our interpretation and our perception of it. And that's all the mind's doing. So if we can understand the mind, the problems of the mind solve themselves. Like I said in the beginning, all things are achieved through understanding. The better that we can understand the way our mind works, the more aware we are of its workings, there's nothing to do, but simply by understanding, the problems will solve themselves. If you understand how the mind works, why your blood starts to boil, why you feel anxious, why you feel depressed or angry, then by understanding, you become more empathetic to it and separated from it, which allows you to feel the feelings, but not suffer with the feelings. And that's a massive difference. So that's the hard sell on why you should care about your brain. So let's get into some practical ways you can use this information to hack your brain a little bit and make it your secret weapon. So first off, let's start with learning and memory. We know that the more we use a particular neural pathway, the stronger it gets. That's what's called neuroplasticity. Think of it like a path in the forest. The more it's trodden, the clearer it becomes. So if you're learning to play a musical instrument or you're trying to remember the capitals of all the countries, I don't know why, but what you do is you practice regularly. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. Next up, let's talk about dealing with stress and anxiety. Obviously a massive problem for a lot of people, but as we mentioned earlier, understanding your brain's stress response can help you manage it. Activities like meditation and exercise and even deep breathing can help activate your prefrontal cortex, essentially telling your amygdala to cool its jets. It's kind of like giving your brain a chill pill. So the next time you're caught in a stressful situation, take a few deep breaths and remember, you're the boss of your brain. Remember, it's the mind that is causing your suffering, not the reality, not the event. It's only your attachment to the mind that is causing your suffering. Another way to put it, and this is probably my favorite analogy for the mind, is it's kind of like a puppy. Imagine that you're taking a puppy for a walk on a leash. And what does it do? It goes crazy, right? It runs all over the place, pulling you this way and that way, and everywhere that you don't want to go. It may sit for a while to think that you've won, to think that you've gained control and you finally tamed this beast. But just when you think that you've tamed this cute little beast, it runs off again and it pulls you along with it. So how do you deal with this? You can't overpower it, you can't trick it, you can't just pull the leash tighter. So what do? You cut the leash and you let it run free. And you sit back and you watch it run. Well, that's all I have for you on the brain and on the mind and how it works. The brain is a complex, intricate organ, and we're still a long way from understanding it completely, but every bit of understanding helps. Take this new understanding about your mind and make it work for you and work with it. And when it starts pulling you all over the place, remember to just cut the leash and let it run. There's nothing for you to do, just understand.